Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. Today, we're talking about something that many of you feel, but might not fully understand why it's happening, and more importantly, how to fight back. We're talking about inflation, that's slowly but surely eating away at our purchasing power. I'm sure many of you have noticed that the burger that used to cost $8 now costs $12. The coffee that was $3.50 is now $5. Or rent that keeps going up year after year. This is what we call inflation. But here's the problem. Our salaries aren't keeping up with the rising cost of living. The result? Our lives are getting harder without us even realizing it. First, let's understand what inflation actually is. Inflation is when the general prices of goods and services rise continuously, making the same amount of money buy less stuff than before. Here's a simple example. 10 years ago, $20 could buy you 2 decent lunches. Today, that same $20 might only get you 1 lunch. That means the purchasing power of your $20 has been cut in half. There are several causes of inflation. First is when governments print too much money. When there's more money in the system but the same amount of goods, prices go up. Second is rising production costs. Whether it's oil prices, labor costs, or raw materials, when it costs more to make things, those costs get passed on to consumers. Third is when demand exceeds supply. If everyone wants to buy something but there isn't enough of it, prices get driven up. What we're experiencing now is a perfect storm of multiple factors. COVID disrupted supply chains, governments worldwide printed money to stimulate economies, and energy prices shot up due to wars and conflicts. The impact of inflation on our lives is more serious than most people think. It's not just that things cost more, it's destroying our financial plans. People with money and savings accounts find their money slowly losing value. If inflation is 5%, but your savings account only pays 2% interest, your money is losing 3% of its value every year. People planning for retirement discover that the money they thought would be enough might not be sufficient because the cost of living 20 years from now will be much higher than today. People on fixed salaries feel their lives getting harder even though their income hasn't decreased. They just can't buy as much with the same money. So how can we protect ourselves from inflation? There are several strategies we can employ. Strategy 1, increase your income faster than the inflation rate. This might sound simple, but it's necessary. Learn new skills, get side hustles, or negotiate salary increases that match inflation. Strategy 2, invest in assets that grow with inflation. Stocks of good companies can usually adjust their prices with inflation. Real estate typically appreciates over time. Strategy 3, invest in assets that historically perform well during inflationary periods. Gold is a classic example. During high inflation periods, gold prices often rise. Strategy 4, buy necessities in advance. If you know something will definitely get more expensive and it's something you use regularly, buying it ahead of time is a form of inflation protection. Strategy 5, avoid holding too much cash. Cash loses value with inflation. Keep only your emergency fund in cash. Invest the rest. Strategy 6, choose debt wisely. If you have fixed-rate debt, inflation actually helps reduce your debt burden because you're paying back with money that's worth less. Let's look at some investment strategies that work well during inflationary times. Stocks of companies with pricing power, like utilities, consumer staples, or companies with strong brands, can usually pass inflation costs to customers. Mutual funds that invest in quality stocks or specifically designed inflation-protected funds are good options. Real estate, especially rental properties, provides income that increases with inflation, and the property values typically rise too. Commodities like gold, oil, or agricultural products, though these require caution due to high volatility. TIPS, or Treasury inflation-protected securities, where the government offers bonds that adjust returns based on inflation rates. The key is diversification. Don't put all your money in one place, even if it's meant to protect against inflation. Beyond investing, lifestyle adjustments are crucial. Focus on health and wellness because healthcare costs will keep rising. Prevention is better than treatment. Invest in skills that increase your earning potential. In inflationary times, people with rare skills can negotiate better salaries. Create multiple income streams. Don't rely solely on your salary. Multiple income streams help you cope with inflation better. Learn to live frugally without reducing quality of life. Cook at home, buy during sales, find cheaper alternatives. One important thing, don't panic into paralysis. Inflation has been part of economic systems since currency existed. The key is adaptation. Financial planning during inflation needs to be more flexible. Goals you set might need to be adjusted higher. Timelines might need to be extended. Most importantly, start acting today. The longer you wait, the more inflation's effects accumulate. Money you do nothing with today will be worth less tomorrow. Remember, inflation isn't the enemy. It's a challenge we need to learn to manage. Those who understand and prepare will benefit. Those who don't will be destroyed by it. A clear example is someone who bought a house with a fixed-rate mortgage 10 years ago. Today, their debt burden is much lighter because their salary increased, but the debt amount stayed the same. Meanwhile, someone who only kept money in savings accounts finds their purchasing power dramatically reduced. Finally, don't forget that inflation has both disadvantages and advantages. The downside is things cost more, but the upside is if you have good assets or smart debt, you can benefit from inflation. The key is education and adaptation. Don't panic, but don't be complacent either. Start today to make sure inflation won't keep eating at your wealth. Thanks for listening. I hope this episode helps you understand inflation better and, more importantly, know how to protect yourself. See you in the next episode.